Hello and welcome back to another Minute in the Clouds with Greg. We've been talking about attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and today we're going to address some frequently asked questions that people have often asked about ADHD. So attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, affects millions of people worldwide, but it still remains quite misunderstood. Sometimes it's surrounded by myths and misconceptions even today. So in today's video and article, I'll try and answer some frequently asked questions about ADHD and some maybe not so frequently asked, and shine some light on the topic. I'll try and provide up-to-date information based on scientific research and expert insight. So whether you're a person who has ADHD and you wanting to get more clarity, or maybe you're a concerned parent, or simply just someone who's curious about ADHD, hopefully I've got you covered. I'll answer some questions over the next couple of days. We'll kick it off today. My goal is to foster more understanding and empathy towards people who've got ADHD, shed some light on the matter, and hopefully it will help somebody. If you haven't seen my other videos, check them out. You can find an accompanying article that goes with each of these YouTubes. That'll be over on gregscloud.com. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm very glad that you're here. It's not easy to create when you've got ADHD, brain injury, and other things going on. So if you like these videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. Click on the bell if you want to be notified when I post new content. Comments, likes, any feedback on how I might make these videos and articles better is always greatly appreciated. Please do leave a comment. Let me know the type of content you'd like to see. So let's dive in and explore some of the, hopefully demystify some of the stuff about ADHD. These are questions that people have asked on Answer the Public and on Google. And one of the questions that these are all questions that people have asked. Are people with ADHD intelligent? Well, researchers published a study in the Journal of Neurodevelopmental Disorders on February the 10th, 2020. And the goal was to investigate the cognitive profile of ADHD in highly intelligent children and adolescents who've got ADHD. What the study did is it compared two groups, one consisting of individuals with high intelligence and ADHD, and the other consisting of people with average intelligence and ADHD. And the study found that the cognitive profile of ADHD is similar in both highly intelligent and average intelligent individuals. However, cognitive deficits associated with ADHD may be somewhat less severe in people who are highly intelligent and have ADHD. And the study also found that highly intelligent children and adolescents with ADHD, they performed at the same level as average intelligent children. The findings from the study, they contribute to the ongoing debate of whether high intelligence mimics ADHD, and suggesting that high intelligence may actually provide protection against ADHD symptoms and related cognitive problems. One possible reason some people may associate high IQ with ADHD is because of people with ADHD can often be more impulsive, and that can lead them to offer better suggestions, come up with ideas quickly in situations where being quick and impulsivity in that arena can be a good thing. And check out a couple of the other videos about famous people and well-known people with ADHD. People with ADHD make great entrepreneurs and business people. Another question, can ADHD medication be prescribed electronically? Well, this may vary from state to state, but in many cases, yes, it can be. Again, it would also depend on the healthcare provider and as well as the state regulations. Telehealth gained a lot of popularity as a convenient method for receiving medical care, including prescriptions for things like Adderall and other ADHD treatments, and it offers benefits such as improved accessibility and cost effectiveness, and privacy as well. Can Adderall be prescribed by telemedicine without an in-person visit? Well, Adderall is a medication combining amphetamines and dextroamphetamine to improve focus. The benefits of telehealth for ADHD treatment does include convenient, cost-effective, and privacy. The process of obtaining an Adderall prescription through telehealth would involve scheduling an appointment, reviewing medical history, assessing the symptoms, and things of that nature. It would depend on your prescriber, your health plan, and state regulations. If telehealth is an option for you, is it as effective as an in-person visit for ADHD treatment? Yeah, numerous studies have shown that telehealth is very effective. In fact, that's how I receive my prescriptions. I have a CNP, certified nurse practitioner, who prescribes my psych meds, and I've never met her in person. And actually, the person before her I'd never met in person either. But I do have a history with that practice. So can telehealth be used for ADHD appointment follow-ups? Yeah, absolutely, depending on the state and everything. It is suitable for regular check-ins. That's what I do, and medication adjustments. Telehealth's revolutionized healthcare in general, making it easier for everyone to access care, and very cost-effective. Another question that gets asked is ADHD genetic? Well, ADHD is a complex condition with a variety of causes. It does include a genetic component and environmental factors. And there's a genetic link to ADHD, but it's not clear how much the condition is due to genetics and other factors that may also contribute to ADHD, and that they would include things like brain development, exposure to toxins, certain medical conditions. Some interesting facts about ADHD and genetics. ADHD can be affected by genetic factors, but it is complex with multiple causes, and it's not fully understood what exactly causes ADHD, but it is thought to be a combination of genetic and environmental factors. In the United States, about 9.4% of children aged 2 to 7 had received an ADHD diagnosis. This was based on 2016 numbers. Inherited genes are believed to be a significant factor in the development of ADHD, and that's supported by various studies. Study of twins, families, and adopters. They suggest that inherited genes play a significant role. Children with ADHD are more likely to have parents or siblings that have the condition. A genetic study in 2018 found specific variants that account for about 22% of risk of ADHD. And twin studies indicate that ADHD is highly heritable, with heritability estimated between 60 and 80%. That means that genes play a significant role in determining whether or not a person will develop ADHD. Children with ADHD were more likely to have DNA variations such as duplicates or deletions than children without ADHD, and researchers are looking into the genetic, environmental, and social factors as possible causes of ADHD, and symptoms can include, of course, inattention, hyperactivity, and things like that, impulsivity. What does an ADHD coach do? Well, an ADHD coach is a professional who assists people who have ADHD manage their symptoms and challenges. What they do is they concentrate on organization, time management, as well as overall well-being, and they try and understand the clients, the person with ADHD, their individual needs, and establish goals, help devise personalized strategies, offer some accountability, try and improve executive function, self-awareness, emotional aspects, problem-solving skills, and they work with other professionals to ensure a holistic approach. Hopefully they do. What are educational rights, or are there educational rights for people with ADHD? Well, there are some federal mandates, but also there may be some state things. But what that comes under is the IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. And that's a law that provides resources and support for children with disabilities so that they can access educational materials and assessments. And it includes provisions for accessibility, instruction materials, assessments, early childhood outcomes, bullying prevention, charter schools, child find procedures, confidentiality, coordinated early intervention services, and things of that. The IDEA supports ensuring timely access to educational media and materials for people with ADHD, and that includes providing video descriptions, captioning, and other accessible forms such as Braille and audio when it comes to schooling and tests and things of that nature, college. It's important for states to ensure that children with disabilities are included in general assessment with appropriate accommodation and alternative assessments if necessary. The performance of these children should also be publicly reported. Charter schools must also uphold the same protections and rights for children with disabilities as other public schools do under the IDEA. Child find requires states and agencies to identify, locate, and evaluate children with disabilities. This includes children with developmental delays, highly mobile children, and children in correctional facilities. The child find is a federal law that requires public schools to identify, locate, and evaluate children with disabilities who may need special assistance and education services. IDEA's confidentiality requirements provide protections that go beyond those provided by FERPA, and the requirements are safeguarded personally identifiable information and education records, coordinated early investing services, allow local education agencies to use up to 15% of Part B funds for services to students who have not been identified as needing special education. It's important to note that students with disabilities in correctional facilities do retain their substantive, I can't say it, rights and idea protections. Anyway, what happens if ADHD goes untreated? If ADHD goes untreated and it's left alone, it can have various short-term and long-term consequences that may affect someone's academic, social, and personal and professional life. Some of those may include academic and work challenges, can make it difficult to organize tasks, manage time effectively. That could lead to problems with employment or schooling. There could be some relationship issues, the impulsivity and forgetfulness, difficulty listening. It can put a strain on relationships with families and romantic partners. And untreated ADHD can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, and challenges. Maintaining meaningful connections, low self-esteem can be a result. If you're struggling with untreated ADHD, it can lead to feelings of frustration, helplessness, inadequacy, and it can gradually erode self-esteem and self-confidence, as people may view themselves as lazy or incompetent, especially if they've been called those things growing up. There can be emotional and mental concerns if it goes untreated. Untreated ADHD is associated with a higher risk of developing other mental health issues. Anxiety, depression go hand in hand. And in a lot of children, oppositional defiant disorder. Those conditions could get worse. Risky behaviors. Some people with ADHD that's not treated might engage in impulsive or risky behaviors, seeking stimulation, some excitement to cope with the restlessness and the boredom. They could include things like gambling, substance abuse, reckless driving, other dangerous activities, unprotected sex, promiscuity. There could be accidents and injuries. The impulsive nature and the lack of focus that sometimes goes with ADHD, it can increase the risk of accidents happening, particularly in situations where you've got to be very careful with machinery and things. Financial problems, I get myself into trouble with that sometimes. Poor memory and money management skills, impulsivity, spending, stuff like that. You can some financial problems. legal issues. In some cases, if ADHD is not treated, it can contribute to legal problems, particularly if the impulsive behavior leads to involvement in illegal activities or breaking the law. There's a lot of undiagnosed people with ADHD in correction institutes. Negative self-image kind of goes with the self-esteem. If ADHD is not treated, it can, cause repeated failure to meet personal and social expectations, and that could lead to negative self-image and feeling inadequate. Symptoms would, obviously vary from person to person, and it's important to seek a diagnosis and treatment. What's ADHD classified as? ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder under the DSM-5, which stands for the Diagnostical Statistic Manual 5. It's what psychiatrists use to diagnose, and it's characterized by developmental deficits or delays in key areas such as cognition, communication, socialization, and behavior, and it's divided into three subtypes. One moment. Cheers. The three subtypes of ADHD are predominantly inattentive presentation. That's me. Predominantly hyperactive, impulsive, and combined type. I'm more the inattentive type. And to receive a diagnosis of symptoms, to receive a diagnosis, symptoms, they want symptoms to be present before the age of 12 and to cause significant impairment and distress in 2 or more settings. The symptoms shouldn't be better explained by a different disorder. ADHD is a clinical diagnosis, and an evaluation by a qualified healthcare professional is crucial to get an accurate diagnosis. I might add that there's a lot of people don't get diagnosed until later in life, and there's many reasons for that. They used to think people grew out of ADHD. It's not true. I think there's some people learn to deal with the symptoms, and so it gives a perception that they don't have it when they go into adulthood. And then when they go to university, school, college, have children, demands of work, stuff like that, and they're, involves a lot of cognition and multitasking and stuff, conditions can rear their head. So there's a lot of talk about executive function. Well, what is that? What is executive function? Executive function is a set of cognitive processes that are essential for goal-directed behavior, the ability to control your thoughts and emotions. It's like the CEO of the brain, right? The chief executive officer of the brain is responsible for coordinating and orchestrating various mental processes that help you achieve your goals and adapt to different situations. Key components of executive function include working memory, inhibition, cognitive shift, flexibility, planning and coordination, initiation, emotional regulation, and self-monitoring. Those things, are crucial for daily life, daily functioning. What's the best way to get organized if you have ADHD? Well, that's highly unique, but it's very important to find what works for you. But some of the things that might help: first of all, create a system that's going to work for you. You could try using a planner, a digital calendar, breaking tasks into smaller steps. Try and create some routines. Routines are very important. Visual reminders. Try and minimize distractions. Set realistic goals. Don't set lofty goals. That's one of the reasons they tell you to break things down. If your goal is to clean the office or clean the bedroom, maybe you want to break that down to, make the bed, vacuum the floor, things like that. It's much easier to get something completed, and that really helps with your, getting more goals done. The more things that you can accomplish, the more things you can accomplish. Delegate, ask for help if you need it. Organize physical space to move around with. Don't like claustrophobia. meditation, maybe coaching might be helpful, therapy, take breaks, reward yourself when you do accomplish some things. One of the things that I do is I use highly Google Calendar. Google Calendar is a godsend for me. I use Google Calendar and Alexa, sometimes Siri, but I don't really like Siri. I think maybe she doesn't like me, but I use Alexa a lot. So anyway, that's some answers to some questions. We'll do some more tomorrow. Over the next couple of days, we'll be answering some questions. And if you have a question that you want me to try and answer, post it in the comments. Shoot me an email at info@gregscloud.com. Again, you'll find articles over on the website that accompany this. The article that goes with this is, probably give me a while. It'll be a bit later today before I do that. But yeah, if you've got any questions, please put them in the comments. Let me know the type of content that you'd like to see. It can be anything. Right now, I'm just kind of talking about ADHD, but I will be talking about brain injury, depression, anxiety, a lot of mental health issues, chronic pain, PTSD, all things that affect me, lymphedema, and really just, daily life, living life on life's terms. As time goes on, I'll get into some interesting tips, tricks, life hacks, cool apps, websites, just to do some fun stuff. Right now we're on ADHD, but so over the next few days we'll answer some questions, and then we'll talk about hobbies and things like that for ADHD. So we'll be doing ADHD for a little bit longer. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, love you guys. We will see you tomorrow. And as always, take care of your mind. Bye for now.